Hey, good evening. Good evening. This is Spirit Journey. Yes, today it is November 2018, and it's after 7 p.m. Yes. It was a rainy day here in New York City. In my room right now, I have this neck holder. My neck is sore. I had chiropractic work yesterday, and some of the manipulations on it, it could make the muscles a little sore. So I'm hoping that it'll start feeling better. And if I need, I have also my heating pad within reach right now. Yes, I want to talk about, well, I hope you guys had a very good day. It's election day here in New York, and I got up early today and I uh, did my voting. And yes, I did do a very brief live stream of that. So I'm glad it's over. And I guess tomorrow we'll know how everything works, how everything, turns out. But I want to talk about different subjects for today. And I hope you guys could hear me. So I'm going, yes, hello, viewer. Yes, hello. Yes, let me know if you can hear me well. And yes, for the viewers that come on, just you can just give me give me a hello, so I know who's there, so I can give you a a official hello. Yes, in the chat room. Okay. Yes, I hope your day went well. I'm going to talk about a lot of exciting topics. At least I think they are. And I won't discuss in any particular order. I have some of my notes in front of me just to, as a reminder. Yes, hi, Johnny Dragon. Yes, yes, hello. I hope your day went well. Yes, Johnny, I have some real interesting topics that I hope you and my other viewers will enjoy. And I want to start with things more on a personal note. I have here one of the things I want to talk about. Um, it's called Meals on Wheels. And here in New York City, we have this program for people who are not mobile. They could be the elderly or people with handicaps that they can't get around. And this organization sends meals to them. And I have a mother who she's 89 years old and she needs some assistance. And one of the my other family members had made the arrangements for her to have this service, and I think it's a free service. And I think it's by I could be it's some Catholic organization that sponsors this or in part sponsors this. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but either way, now to get on this program, they have to interview you. Again, this is free food, and they have to get information about the person's mobility, their mental faculties, etc. This is a whole process that they have to do. And my mother qualified for this program. Well, she was only on it for maybe 4 days at the most, and then they cut her off, and they didn't even have the decency to notify her, whether it be by phone or the last visit that when they came by to let them know that there won't be any more food delivered to her. Okay? So a family member contacted that agency or that company that sponsors this to find out what happened. And their reason was, oh well, we're concerned that with the food, because the food is sent frozen, and they're concerned that if she puts it in the oven or to thaw it out, whatever, that a fire might start. Now, I mean that sounds like okay. So my concern. But if you were really that concerned when you did the interview, that should have been the first thing. Her mental faculties, and if she could reheat these frozen dinners. But they didn't. And again, this program has been around for quite a while. So what happened? So when they told that to my family member that she will no longer be receiving the Meals on Wheels, so they said, okay. And so in addition to that, they said, well, we have a service here that if she uses this service to have like a home health aide with her, then we keep her on the program. And again, uh, my mother's insurance paid for this uh, program, the uh, healthcare provider. So it sounds like a scam. So they're coaxing people, they like the carrot is the free food, the food to be, delivered for her. And then you're going to spring on them, oh, well, you may not remember that it's in the oven or the microwave. Oh, it's a liability. And, oh, but we have a home health aide that you have to pay for. And again, we supply these home health aides. So it's a way of making money. And then cutting the service. So it's almost, it feels like, almost like, what's the term? It's manipulation. And I don't like that. You work with the public, you know who can do what, and only 4 days around, and they want you to spend money. So it's like a market. Oh, we're doing something so wonderful for individuals of New York City who um, can't make their meals for themselves. Excuse me. And make it sound good. And then, oh, well, we're not going to send it to you anymore. You better use our health home health aides. So I thought it was very, very um, negative and real evil in my opinion. That's how I feel. And I want to talk about something else now. I just wanted to put that out there to just be aware about these Meals on Wheels or any other service that provides free food. Make sure you ask these questions if the person, if it's if to get the service is contingent on them paying for a home health aid that you provide and that you be getting the money for, and then have the food. Okay? Yeah. And so ask these questions, and so you'll be better. Because you don't want to put someone's hopes up so high, whatever, and then you pull that benefit away. So it's just a matter of, not that my mother can't afford buying food, but that she's getting, she's 89, and, she doesn't really want to cook anymore, and it was a nice benefit to have, okay? So the next thing I want to talk about, well, I want to talk about stolen identities. And I was watching this YouTuber, and her work, like, she talks about, she's a targeted individual, and she's a woman of color. I don't want to name the person. A lot of times in my videos here, I might mention a, about a subject that a YouTuber talks about, but I don't like to give the names of the people. But I was impressed with a lot of uh, her words, her experiences that she shares. And again, some of the things it's a little, could be a little problematic for me, but a lot of information she says is really right on it, and I really appreciate her work. But she got me thinking, like, she mentioned about what they call, yes, hello, new viewer, yes, hello. Yes, you could just type below in the comment to just say hello so I know who it is so I can tell you, give you a proper hello out there. Okay? Yes, I'm talking about, yes, hello, another viewer. Welcome, welcome. And you too also, you can just type in a quick hello so I could, so we all could know who's out there in the chat room. Okay? And that's only if you want to, okay? But it'd be nice. So again, the second thing I'm talking about, folks, is about stolen identity. And this YouTuber mentioned about how her identity was stolen and her ideas were stolen. And it got me thinking about my life, what happened to me many years ago. About 16 years ago, and yes, I'm putting it out there. I had to go in a homeless shelter. And my first night there, I only came with the clothes on my back and my purse. And when I woke up in the morning, my little jacket that I had and my driver's license was stolen. I don't remember where my license was at the time. I don't know. I don't remember if it was inside the jacket. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, both were stolen. And I immediately went to the police station to report the theft because I mean, it was stolen. And again, I want to cover my back. But that happened again about 16 years ago. But now, hearing this other YouTuber, yes, hello, viewer. Yes, welcome, welcome. I'm just really, getting started here. I'm talking about again identity theft and how I'm reminding about identity theft from a fellow YouTuber who shared their experiences. And when I went to the police station to report my driver's license that was stolen, I started thinking about why this could have happened to me. Because at the time I'm saying, boy, why would someone want to steal someone's driver's license? And then it hit me in the head upon listening to this other YouTuber whose identity was stolen. Well, what could they do with a driver's license? Well, they can take it and get other ID from it. And in particular, how about taking out a life insurance policy on you? Okay, so here I'm in a homeless shelter. And why would someone want to do that, steal from another fellow person in some shelter? I could understand someone want to take money, but a driver's license and a jacket? So I started thinking that what this YouTuber was telling me, that you have people who steal people's identity and selling on what they call the black web. The black web is like a web internet within an internet where they buy and sell information and who knows what. And it's illicit activities. It's those things that you don't, that if people knew about, they could probably get arrested. So that's why it's hidden from mainstream public. And with this identity, because again, they'll know your birthday, they'll have your name, and what else? Your address. That's a lot of information. They might be able to take out credit cards in your name, etc. So they took this driver's license of mine, and what could happen? So this YouTuber was saying, things that you can do when with identity theft to find out what's going on, and if someone has ever use your identity. And so she mentioned about different audits that people could get when to find out, hey, is someone taking out an insurance policy on me? And they mentioned you can get that, this uh, insurance policy thing checked on you, and other types of audit. That's the word, audits that could be done on you. I wish I could remember all in detail, but it just took me by surprise. I think that's very valuable information. Also, let's see what else. I guess Social Security, do an audit on that. And she also mentioned about what they call FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. And this is a law in the United States. I think it's a federal law. And you can contact different government agencies and, in essence, ask for an audit or, in this case, information on you. And that you can contact the FBI and request a FOIA, a Freedom of Information on you. And I checked on the internet, on YouTube, if there are videos out there on how to do that. And yes, there are videos on how to request from the FBI, that stands for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and how to properly request information on you. Okay? So I thought that was very important information. And for me, I'm a little afraid to do something like that because I remember years ago someone had did an inquiry. This was over the internet that I'm hearing this about. And they said, hey, do I have a file? And so the Fed said, oh, we can create one for you. And so I'm thinking, uh-oh, I don't want one. And I don't want a file made on me that's not in existence. I don't want to make waves, but you do have a right to request certain information on you from various agencies. And have this information, and at times, you have to pay. And so they would, if it's a lot of money, they'll ask you, hey, this is going to cost this. Do you still want it? You got to pay or whatever, you know. So I thought that, so I'm putting this out there so that if any of you are individuals who feel that maybe you were what they call targeted, or think someone is doing something, hey, maybe you might want to do a freedom of information and find out whether a file was done on you, whether, X, Y, and Z was done. And, again, it'll be at your own, volition if you want to do something like that. But I just thought it's just interesting information because these days, a lot of things are being done. People are taking information. There's audits even for what they call digital auditing, something like that. That some people spy on you through your devices, your phone, your iPad, your computer, and hack your system, take data, and do X, Y, and Z with it. So that other, fellow YouTuber mentioned about that. If you need documentation to, let's say, for a lawsuit, it has to be done by, I think what she said, something official. It has to be a an official type of audit for for a digital report or something like that. I may not be wording it right, but uh, if you want to bring something like that to a court of law, for investigation, it has to be done by professionals, or unless you have the equipment yourself and get the information for yourself. But many of us don't have that type of technical skills to retrieve information to find out who's hacking your device, who broke into your computer and stole valuable and sensitive information. Okay? So I thought that was really important important information. Okay. Another thing I want to talk about, I know I'm kind of going kind of fast. Um, let's see here. I was thinking about the the Bible, and let's see. Sometimes start with like I have my little notes here. Sometimes I just write like a brief sentence of something, and but I want to put it in context. It's not going to be to slam any religion. Religion is to build you up, to enhance your life. So whatever what your religious system or traditions you follow that. You follow what helps you. But I was thinking about what is the Bible for? And when I say Bible, I mean any scripture out there. I don't mean specifically Christians or Jews or Muslims, anything like that. I mean just religions in general that have this, scriptures. But I started thinking that I wrote here in my notes that the Bible is the template for every new civilization. And why I say that, like I started looking in human history and how prejudices started. You have like the Crusades, you have the the expansion of Islam and the religious wars, as they call it, all these things that were going on, and how scriptures could be used at times to oppress people. For example, in the New Testament, some people distort what's said in the book of Genesis, the first book of the Bible, the Judeo-Christian Bible, and how how certain races were created, and how one of those races is considered cursed, and because they curse, that it's okay to oppress them. And then I started really thinking, why would someone even have that in a Bible, and why even twist it and interpret it like that? And then it came to my head. I said, what if this Bible or something like it is a tool that's used in any new society? Because again, the Bible's supposed to have been written when human beings on planet Earth was just starting out. But let's say there are many civilizations all over the galaxy. And when something works, you just keep on using it, right? If the system works, you keep it. You can modify it according to that new environment. But let's say, okay, before the civilization of 6,000 years ago, when the Bible is said to be put into fruition, let's say 6,000 years even prior to that, let's say you had another civilization, and then that fell. But before it fell, they had something what like their Bible, and they have a creation story in this Bible, and then they impose this Bible in that society, and that Bible's used to oppress, to give excuses why they could harm you, oppress you, or limit what you can do. Or let's say you're a woman, and this particular Bible is saying, oh, women are to be subservient, whatever. It could be any system. But think of the Bible as a template of instructions on how to control others. Okay? And uh, so again, you have a civilization and another civilization, and so on and so on. Let's say this goes on for hundreds of thousands of years. This Bible, this whole thing of the Bible, I don't think it's created overnight. It's too perfect. And if you've read the Bible, in my opinion, the Bible is like a code book. It has codes in it. It's not to just strictly read it, surface level, but it has layers to it, layers of understanding. The Bible is about numbers and patterns that repeat itself over and over again in this Bible, what we call the Bible. Even the New Testament, it's the same thing. It's the same intelligence who created both halves, even though it is said that that the writers of some of the books of the Bible, um, it's the same flow to it. And again, they don't know each other, but yet it serves as one unit, the Bible. And that's what makes it so effective. So just think of it. You have something, a Bible, which really could have been in existence for thousands and thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of years, upon an unexpected civilization, or I should say, an indigenous group of beings that was hijacked, and then the writers of a particular Bible imposes this on this new people and say, okay, this is what we want you to believe, just like our current Bible, right? That was imposed on people from Africa, Asia, the Americas. But you have it started out with a group. And you know, it's the people of that group that you don't see them being oppressed. You see them being on the economic top, the social top. So whoever induces this Bible are the winning and superior group. And superior doesn't mean better. I mean that they are in an advantage over someone else, because that Bible now is a tool, a weapon to hold down a population slash new civilization that's been implemented. So again, nothing lasts forever. And as I said, like with Atlantis, that it too fell. Okay. So this leads me into the next topic that really is related to what I'm talking about. And that's with President Trump. And President Trump, I heard about, initiated what's called the what do you call it? The new Space Force. Like you have the Air Force, now you have the Space Force that is to be implemented immediately, according to President Trump. That was June 18th, 2018 of this year. So that's a couple of months ago. And he's implementing this new Space Force that's going to be military. And I was alarmed about some of the things he said that um, the U.S. is the leader of the space program, you know, the like NASA, and you know that we had gone to the moon, and we're the only ones that did this, and you know, to promote dominion. I'm sorry, dominance. He used the word dominance. Excuse me, dominance, and this exploration. And I was afraid about the term dominance. You allegedly are going into a new environment, and you want to exert dominance over something or someone else. Shouldn't you go into a new frontier with caution, with uh, finding out what's the lay of the land and who's out there? And I'm thinking again like Columbus and his frontier and dominance over other groups. So I don't want the same thing like what happened with Columbus to happen to up in space. I don't want to see corruption and genocide. I'm concerned about that. It's not appropriate for this dominance over something else that you don't really know. But it makes me feel just like Columbus. Columbus knew about the Americas because there were maps. And he allegedly had an ancient map. He didn't devise that map, but it was out there. I think it was all by design. And they knew about the Americas. Yes, and there's evidence of that in the state of Illinois in the United States, is in the Midwest, and they found artifacts of different different ethnics, different ethnic groups from across the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and the artifacts were in this cave, and that this cave was used as an initiation for various groups. Some of them look like Europeans, some look African, some look like what they call Middle Eastern types. Three very distinct groups, and they were here in the Midwest. So again, with Christopher Columbus and the other, what do you call captains on ships, that they knew about this, what they call New World. So again, fast forward into 2018 with now President Trump and his new Space Force that he said he wants it implemented immediately. But I started thinking about this new Space Force. Now I've been online now for a while following what they call the Secret Space Program, and I had in February this year interviewed an individual by the name of Tony Rodriguez, and him being what's called experienced the 20 years and back program. He was kidnapped and had to work in space for 20 years, and he worked as a cargo person, taking cargo and taking inventories, things like that. And then once his time was up, they sent him back to planet Earth, and what they call age regression. They brought him back to the age of when he was kidnapped, according to him. Again, this is just his self-report of this, and I was very eager to find out about this self-report that some YouTubers claim that they have experienced themselves, men and women. Some of them were allegedly used as super soldiers, and some of them as other things. So when I heard President Trump talk about this new Space Force, they in this genre of secret space program or the 20-year and back program, that you already have ships out there and people allegedly having trade with other planet, what do you call it, solar systems out there, that they have technologies such as cloning, age regression, what else? These weapons, and that there are beings out there, what those who are that stand up upright like on two legs, and then you have things that look like insects out there, and not only on planets but up in the space too. Just like here on Earth, you have, let's say, the ocean. What's in the ocean? You have fish. Well, you could think of space as an ocean also. And they said that there are beings out there. So I'm wondering what's really going on. What is the significance of Trump mentioning about this new Space Force that he wants to implement immediately, and that he said something about within, after 1 year that this thing's to be done. So a 1 year time frame that this thing is going to be implemented. But I asked myself again, is this what's really happening? Is this really about disclosure? Because you have all these people on YouTube who are sharing about their experiences. And so how could this be a new thing? Why does he want us to think this is new? I feel that something is building up and that there's going to be something that's going to manifest very shortly. But he's making the excuse that it's something new he's forming. He knows, I feel, again, I don't know, definitively speaking, but I feel that there is some technologies that are in existence, but it cannot be kept secret for long. Because you have again all these YouTubers out there who are discussing it, and so the cat is out of the bag. But now, if you say, "Oh well, we're going to implement it," oh see, okay, we can see we got this spaceship, but it might have been there for many, 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 many years. You hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm really getting at? That you have something. Why now? And I actually thought like NASA. I thought NASA was part of the government, and I thought it was like an extension of the military. So why? So where did what happened with NASA? How come he's not going to just use NASA for this new Space Force? Why create this new branch? Where does NASA fit into this picture? And how come they allegedly didn't go back to the moon past 1970 something? How could you have all this technology 50 plus years ago and then you say, oh, we don't have it anymore, or we lost it? Well, if you lost it back then, you're going to lose it in the future too. So what's really going on? Well, I feel that the cat is out the bag, that they can't hide the secret. And I I had experiences about something with this space thing. Again, I haven't been in space as far as I know, but I I had a what do you call it? I did a meditation once, and in this meditation, I saw a spacecraft. I actually saw it three-dimensionally in a meditation that I did a couple of years ago. It looked like a pure white cigar. It was big. It was smooth on the outside, very white, looking like the shape of a cigar. And then in the front, it was this. It looked like a red dot or a light. It wasn't a beam, but it was just a red dot on it, right in front. And it was against a blue sky. So I I I I believe when people who meditate or see it's not your imagination. It's not just something that you created. I think it's something that exists. They said that the mind does not create anything. It's a receiver. Your brain is a receiver and a transmitter. And I feel what I saw was something that was being transmitted to me because everything is energy. And when you do a meditation, you're just having a focused energy and that you are tapping into a frequency slash energy and it revealed itself. Think of it like a radio. And you could turn the channel to different channels and you could hear and experience different things on television. You turn the dial and you see different channels and different audio video things on it. And I think the same thing with meditation. So you're not just creating it, you're only receiving and possibly to be able to transmit information. So I think this is very important that You have something out there. And there was something else I saw. In real life, I saw over Central Park, I saw the black triangle. It was the wide one. And people over the internet, they do discuss about these triangle planes. So so here I saw something with my natural eye and I saw something with my spiritual eye. There are things out there that exist and they don't want the general population to know. And I think a lot of these movies that they have is just to prepare you for what they call disclosure. They're priming you up so that it's not going to shock you so much, that it's like taking a pill, and it's a little easier if you take a pill with a glass of water rather than dry. You hear what I'm saying? So there's no new space force. It's just the revealing or the disclosure of what already exists. But they cannot hold the secret for long because we have the technologies. Just like I'm on this iPhone. You have people with all these devices, and you could take pictures of everything 24/7. You go outside, you're just walking, hey, you just take out your phone, your smartphone, and start taking pictures, videotapes, audio, all that. So it's impossible to hide it for long. So these are the things that I really wanted to disclose. Oh, there's one other last thing I want to talk about before I go. About a dream I had. Oh, this was, I think, 1 week ago. I had a dream. I think all these things are related. The secrets, the Space Force, and about identity theft, things being stolen. That it's about maybe like trafficking. It's trafficking people. And trafficking people maybe up in that space. There's human trafficking going on. But either way, this dream I had, um, I think it's like an awakening that that's happening to me. That maybe I'm becoming more comfortable with them myself, and I'm seeing these things more. But this was a regular dream. And why it's important to me is that it's reminding me that I'm changing. And I think some of the change that I'm going through is actually positive. So I had a dream that I was in this location. I was in a car with a family member and two other people who I didn't know. One was a little child, and another was an older person, a gentleman. And I'm not driving, but this family member is driving in this vehicle. And the location reminded me of this island I used to live at in the Caribbean, the island of St. Thomas. And there's a particular area in St. Thomas on the side where the airport is on, and the narrow roads and the hills and everything. You can see the valleys in it. And it reminded me of that. And I've had this dreams with this location several times post my leaving that particular island, the island of St. Thomas. It's the U.S. Virgin Island. Okay, so it's a territory of the U.S. I think it's considered a territory rather than a commonwealth, but I could be wrong. It's one of the two. It's either a territory or the Commonwealth of the United States of America. So I'm in the car, this vehicle, and this family member is driving, and the person, we're on like a hill or some mountainside, and the person is kind of driving kind of careless, and yeah, my battery's going. I'm sorry, my battery's going to run out. So the person is driving a little erratic, and they kind of bang into the side of the mountainside, and it kind of ricocheted off a little bit, and now it's actually uh, it 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 kind of jumped up in the air. This vehicle now it's not on the ground, and it's past the ground. Now it's actually outside of the road, off the cliff. And I see this, and I'm panicking inside. I said, "Oh my God, I'm going to die in this car accident." The car ricocheted off, and it's up in the air now. And I guess this is the end of me. And then I remember me lying down in the car. And a lot of times when you're dreaming, what the position that you're in the dream is the position that you are in your bed. And so sometimes so it's an overlap. At least that's my explanation of it. So I lied down, and I realized I put my head up. I said, oh, maybe if I prop my head up like that, when the car lands on the ground, it's going to cushion the fall. And then the next thing I know, I said, I think I stood up, and I gave like a toast, like a salute, so to speak, a salute about this is my life, and I live this life to the my strength. It was like the last words of really victory, that despite what's going on, like a soldier, like a proud soldier, they know that they're going to die, but they stand strong, and they show their confidence, regardless what the outcome is going to be. They're warriors, and they're going to die strong. And that's what I conveyed. And this is why I share this, is because I'm a very shy person in real life, especially when I was a youngster. And I was afraid of everything. I was afraid of everyone around me, people who were older than me. And I was bullied a little bit in school. And so this is like a turnaround for me, that I stood, I said, I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to be afraid of dying. Yes, I'm going off the edge of this cliff with these other people, but that's okay, because and I love it. I love that because it encouraged me when I woke up from the dream. And so I feel like there's something happening to me spiritually that's saying that I'm okay, and don't be afraid of death and dying. And I had another dream. Oh, what was that now? Oh, yeah, I had another dream a couple of weeks back about a tiger, and I discussed this dream in an earlier video that I did. So you can even just Google, the word tiger on my channel, and you'll find the dream. I hope so. But either way, about this tiger, and this tiger was growling at me, and then I'm scared, and then I look closely at this tiger, and I started saying, "Hey, wait a minute, this doesn't look real." The tiger was just two-dimensional, and I have what you call virtual reality glasses, and I watch a VR game, and how it looks. It's very flat, and so when you're trying to like look around the corner of something, you don't see any any width to it. And it was the same with this dream I had, with this tiger yelling at, growling at me, trying to scare me. And you know what? I growled right back. I went, it's so silly. I went, roar, right like that, right at this line, tiger. And it's almost comical. I wouldn't do that in real life. Some lion, tiger is, it was loose. And if it was real, it could have just gobbled me up, but it didn't. And I roared back at the tiger. You know why I'm also sharing this is because I think a lot of the dreams, I don't think all the dreams that one has is really theirs. I think with all this technology stuff that I've been posting in my videos, I think a lot of it is fake, that they could tap into that you have people with technologies that can tap into your brain when you're asleep, because again, our brain is just a receptor and a transmitter, and they can transmit information into your dreams and make you dream certain things. It's to control you and brainwash you and manipulate you. And so, like that dream, I said, that's not real. It's a VR. And I think a lot of the things that we experience is actually a virtual reality game that we're experiencing in our dreams. And some people even suggest that our 3D life, that this is a simulation also. Again, I don't know if that's true, but I think in the dream world, some of the dreams that you have are virtual reality, because you just next time you dream, just try to notice what you're actually experiencing in the dream. Is it 3D? What is it? But you know what else? And I have shared this recently also. I had it also dream this week about the build that, like, I dreamt that it looked, how do you word it? Like I was sleeping, but I was aware of my sleeping, and I initiated a meditation state in this dream, and I saw something three-dimensional. There were beings, they looked like people, and everything was white. The clothes were white, the people's skin was white, the hair was white, the buildings were white, the ground was white, the air looked whitish, and it had a slight tinge of violet in this coloring. And I'm wondering whether I was really doing, whether this was an astral projection, or my mind projected and tapped into a realm. And just before I saw what I saw, it was a loud, audible sound in my head. And then, boom, the 3D visual that I saw. And I had gone to this training place in New York City that teaches astral projection. And we were issued textbook, a textbook. And in the classroom, the instructor mentioned that oftentimes when you have an out of body experience, also known as OBEs, that there is a loud, something, it could be a crackling sound or popping sound or air that you hear audibly. And so that's what made me think that maybe I tapped into something during my sleep, and then I had a, what do you call it, a conscious dream. What do you call it? I forget the term, what they call it, when you're consciously dreaming and you can make things happen or experience. And because I'm at this relaxed state, that it occurred. And it looked beautiful. It looked absolutely beautiful. And that's why when I hear about this President Trump's Space Force, I think these things already exist and they know it. I'm not the only one that could meditate. I'm very new at meditation, and I'm far from an expert. I am no expert at it. I don't do it every day, but sometimes I'm able to do it, and sometimes I get results. I mean, sometimes I see things, but many times I don't see anything. But this time, this is what I experienced. So I don't think that there is a new Space Force, but that there's an existing one, and Trump is now just sharing this information and to make it mainstream. Okay, it's going to be a mainstream thing. And So just be aware, remember my video and remember about the things that I mentioned, the crafts, spacecrafts that I mentioned, that there is a cigar looking shaped one and there is a triangle shaped one. And when this Space Force is manifest in a year's time, he said, according to President Trump, you're going to see what they look like. There's all different worlds, I believe, out there. And yeah, I think this is a time of excitement, a time of really exposing true reality. I believe we're all being lied to, and they're using different things to lie to us. And one of those lies are the Bible. It is just a tool of control our sense of reality. And somehow we forgot where we came from. Just like the slaves that were brought into the Americas, we forgot where we came from, what countries we came from, because it was too painful to remember, because you're stuck here. We're stuck on this planet. And now it's the next phase that they're implementing. There's a time and season for every matter. And now this is the time of really stretching our faith system, which is no longer going to be faith, but a knowing system. But they only want you to know little increments at a time. Okay? So these are the thoughts that I have. And yes, those people who are going to watch this live stream later on, please feel free to comment below if you have any questions, or if you want to share your experiences on the many different topics I talked about. I talked again about the Trump's new Space Force. I talked about the Bible being possibly used as a template uh, with every new civilization that arises over the millennial, and about the how one's identity could be stolen, with such as when my driver's license was stolen, and that the information could be used to take out insurance policies against you, and your information is sold on what they call the dark web. And about the Meals on Wheels, how you have agencies that on the surface claim that they're doing good things for those people who are mobile and create, making meals for them and delivering to them, and then they say, oh, we're not going to send it to you, but we have a home health aide that you can buy, who could cook the food for you, but it's at your expense. All these different things. Each one, teach me. I want to learn different things. And I learn from you guys as well. So yes, feel free to comment below and to share your experiences or your knowledge about any of these subjects that I talked about. And you could subscribe to Spirit Journey. You could share this video with friends or family members that you know who you think would appreciate this information. And again, give me the thumbs up. Okay? So enjoy your evening, and I hope that you all enjoy your day, and that you voted today, or let's say you didn't decide to vote, and that's your right too, to protest if you want to, and say, look, I'm not going in protest. I'm not going to vote, but we're going to find out at least by tomorrow how the voting came about, and who won what position, and how the remaining 2 years, how it's going to pan out for the rest of us. So everything's happening for a reason. It's a time and season again for every matter under the sun or over the sun. So you be safe and sound. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And again, thank you for participating on this live stream. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.